Hey, what's up YouTubers? Welcome back to another Toddy Walnuts update video. Happy Halloween. It's been a minute since I made a video, so bear with me. Let's see if I remember how to do this. I'm joined by the beautiful ladies, Miss Heidi on the left. Miss Hannah's trying to get comfortable. I have a few things piling up, and I thought maybe today would be the best day to do that, being that it's Halloween. I'm going to call this a Halloween special. So this first little pile here is kind of a miscellaneous pile. And then we have some Scream Factory holes that I was missing. I plugged a few holes in my Scream Factory collection. I picked up some Steelbooks for the Halloween sale that Walmart has been having over the past couple months. These are the Steelbooks, and these are DVDs that I got at Walmart. I got another kind of a little miscellaneous pile. I have some Scream Team releasing stuff, and I have some Terror Vision stuff. I have a horror figure in the background. I have some CD soundtracks from the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings franchises. And I have the, I guess this is the collector's edition. This was limited to 250, and I got the box set. So we'll go through and see what was all in that box set. So get yourselves relaxed. Get a beverage, get a snack, kick your 10 little toes up, and let's check out the movies that I picked up. Also, I would like to give a couple shout outs in this video as well. So a couple days ago, a week ago maybe, Chili Billy made a video about his Halloween franchise collection, and I thought it was amazing. So I'm going to do that too. This is going to be a video response to Chili Billy, and this is a good way for me to shout out his channel. I'll share the link so you can see his Halloween collection. I'm going to do mine in a separate video, though. It's not going to be in this one, although I will record that tonight and upload it later tonight. I just wanted to kind of make you guys aware to keep an eye out for that. And I also would like to give a shout out to my very good friend, Curious World, who has just uploaded a spooky, kind of a documentary style, haunted little stories that are perfect for this time of year around the Halloween time. I will link his channel down below, and I recommend you guys go check him out. He's great. He's a very good friend of mine. Love his channel. Always love to see that he uploads videos, and I would like to support him in any way that I can. And I'm going to link Chili Billy and Curious World down below. Go check those guys out. So I'm going to pause it here really quick. I'm going to get my ice water set up, and we're going to just start pounding into these movies. Okay, so it's good to be back in the horror business here. It's like I said earlier, it's been a while since I recorded a video. I've got the itch now. I haven't been lately. I just haven't really felt like recording anything, but now I'm feeling pretty good about it. So let's jump right into this here. So the first little stack we're going to go through, like I said, this is kind of a miscellaneous pile. And this is a Blu-ray release put out by Massacre Video. This is a slasher movie called Final Stab. And this is the limited collector's edition. Comes in this nice slip box. And it's a movie by David Deco too. And it's a pretty decent slasher movie. It's a little bit better than average, I would say. And this is the 2K restoration from the 35mm original camera negative. Comes with audio commentary from the director. There's captions, and there's other trailers for other Massacre Video releases. And this is a company. It's a micro company, and it's a very good, decent company. And they always have really nice releases too. They just don't release a whole lot, but I do believe it's just a one-man show. And the stuff that they do put out is very quality, though. So you have a slip box. So to me, the difference between a slip cover and a slip box is a slip cover has an opening at the top and an opening at the bottom, and it just kind of slides over. and a slip box just has the one entry point where the movie can go in and out. That's the way I describe it. That's the way I call it. There is the cover. So this is kind of a, I'm gonna say it like this, but I don't mean any disrespect. It's kind of a poor man's Scream. It's kind of a teen slasher, and it's not quite as good as the Scream franchise, but I thought it was pretty entertaining. And this is not going to be a many time watch for me, but I'll pop this on from time to time and check it out. There you can see an image there of one of the unlucky victims with a throat slash. And I did check this out. I picked this up probably, it seems like a couple months ago now. It's been a while since I did a video, but I watched this about a month and a half ago, and it was the second time I had seen it. I also do have the DVD of this, and it looked really good on Blu-ray. So that is Final Stab from the company called Massacre Video. And let's see if I can find a year for this. 2001, the movie came out, and 2019 is when Massacre Video released this on Blu-ray. The next one here is a Vinegar Syndrome partner release from Something Weird Video. And this is a nice little box set, kind of sleazy, kind of drive-in style movies. And there's 4 bone-chilling shockers on here, it says. And it's a nice little box set. It comes with the nice thick slipcover that they have. And then the 4 movies that are included in this set are The Naked Witch, Violated, Ghosts of Hanley House, and Passion in the Sun. And again, I picked this up, it seems like a couple of months ago. I'll have to go back and see, but it seems like I haven't recorded a video in a couple of months. Here's the inside. This is now out of print. The slipcover is sold out. And it's fetching a pretty penny these days. You can still find it if you're patient. You can find it at a affordable price. So this has a little art card inside. I guess it's kind of a it's an interview. This was back when the founder of Something Weird Video, Mike Vraney, was still alive. He has since passed away from cancer a few years ago now, and which was a shame. I was sorry to hear that. We were friends on Facebook many moons ago. He was a great guy. Put out a lot of really excellent stuff over the years. There's the inside artwork. There's the disc. And you can see some of these still frames from the movies. And you can see here that they're relatively short. So The Naked Witch from 1961 is less than an hour. It's 59 minutes. Violated from 1953, 67 minutes. Ghosts of Hanley House, 85 minutes from 1968. And Passion in the Sun from 1964, that clocks in at 69 minutes. It is all region. And this was a nice little companion piece to a previous release that I have that I'm going to share with you now and show you. Now this, I already did own this one. This is also put out by Something Weird Video. And this is called Bloodorama Triple Feature. These are good companion pieces. And this has a beautiful slipcover. And the 3 movies on this one are Help Me, I'm Possessed, Night of the Strangler, and Carnival of Blood. Not going to go too much into this one because I did show this in a previous update video, but I just wanted to show you that if you're interested and you wanted to get a nice little kind of a drive-in style experience for yourself in your collection, you can pick these 2 up, and I think you'll really enjoy them. So the next one here is a Steelbook, and this just came in the mail today. This is Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 and 2. And again, stick around for the Halloween collection, movie collection that I have, that I own. I'm going to go through and show. I don't have everything, and I'll be honest, I wouldn't call myself the world's biggest Halloween franchise fan. In my opinion, there's only a handful of them worth watching, and the rest you can pretty much pass. You can skip them. But I'll show you what I have, and I'll talk a little bit about them. I do enjoy Rob Zombie's Halloweens. I think they're pretty violent. They're brutal. They're pretty gory. There's some pretty good kills. And so I picked up this Steelbook. This is something I've wanted for, I don't know, a year or so now. I do have quite a few of Rob Zombie's movies on Steelbook, so I was eventually going to pick this up, and I finally did pull the trigger. So this is part 1 and 2, and they come on their own disc. And this is a beautiful Steelbook. Really, really glad to have this one. And you'll be seeing this again later tonight, or whenever you do decide to watch it. This is going to be part of the Halloween collection. So the next pile we're going to go through, these are Scream Factory titles that were holes in my collection. And I finally picked these up. There's a lot of cheapies in here, stuff that has been out for a long time, and just wanted to pull a trigger on them. I don't plan on collecting every single title from Scream Factory, but there are quite a few more that I still do want, and I'm knocking them out a little at a time. So we'll go through and show you guys what I picked up. So this is kind of a backwards ad, because I do have the Blob on 4K already. But I've never owned the Blu-ray with the slipcover before, so I grabbed this. It was pretty inexpensive. Now at this point, everybody's selling their Blu-ray copy to upgrade to the 4K. So I was glad to grab this. But this is a really beautiful slipcover. Great art. A very, very fun movie. This is a kind of a splatter flick. Another really good drive-in style. I do have the Twilight Time Blu-ray as well. So I guess that's why I wasn't really in a hurry to pick up the Scream Factory Blu-ray, but I knew at some point I would. I want to say I only paid like $20 to $25 for this, which to me is a good deal. I was glad to grab this. So there's the disc, and I'm not going to show you the reversible cover because it's just the same image that's on the slipcover. So these are the two covers that you can choose from to put on the front of your case. The Blob from 1988. It came out exactly 30 years after the original The Blob with Steve McQueen, which was also a great movie. This is one of the rare cases, in my opinion, where the remake was much better than the original. So that is The Blob. Glad to have that one. The next one is one that I never owned before on Blu-ray, and this is called Silver Bullet, Stephen King adaptation. A really good werewolf movie. This is the Scream Factory Collector's Edition with the beautiful slipcover. This was another one that has been out for a long time. I believe this one does also have a 4K. I don't remember offhand if I have it. I'll have to go in the other room and check. I'm pretty certain this one does have a 4K release. And there's the alternate cover there. You can flip that, or you can have it to the newly commissioned artwork. This was another fun Lycan movie, or werewolf movie, from the 80s, 1985 to be exact. And this one has a very young Corey Haim. So well, we're having a really big kind of a wind storm here in Wisconsin. The winds are over 50 miles an hour, and I lost power earlier today, and the lights just flickered. So we'll press on, we'll keep moving. But I was really glad to finally pick this up. And if I don't have the 4K already, I believe I do, but if I don't, I'll grab that at some point too. But that is Silver Bullet. The next one here is called Funeral Home, and this is the Scream Factory Special Edition with slipcover. And this is one that for the longest time, it never had a proper DVD release, and I had this on I'm going to call it a fan-made DVD, which I still do have it. I've had that for like 15, 20 years now. And I want to say when Scream Factory released this one, it was the first time it was ever officially released on DVD and Blu-ray in the US anyway. I'm not sure overseas if it was released or not. This is it's a pretty decent movie. It also goes by the title of Cries in the Night. And I think this is a fun movie. I like this movie. It kind of has kind of has a Psycho vibe to it. I don't want to give much more than that away because there's a twist ending, and I don't want to ruin your fun if you decide that you want to watch this. It's a very fun movie, and there's some red herrings in the movie. And what I mean by that, if you don't know what a red herring is, they give you clues throughout the movie, and they try to throw you off your trail, and you think somebody is the killer throughout the movie, and then there's a twist at the end, and it's not. And I'm not going to give you more than that. I do recommend checking this out. It's a very fun movie called Funeral Home, or also known as Cries in the Night. Okay, so for this portion of the video, that was the last collector's edition I have. So the rest of these do not have slipcovers, and they were never issued with them. But I did get some horror comedies, and every once in a while, I'm in the mood for a horror comedy. It's not often, though, I'll be honest with you. I just prefer straight horror for the most part, but I did get a couple of horror comedies here coming up in this pile. First one being Killer Party. And this is kind of it's a high school type slasher movie. There's some comedic elements in here as well. 1986 this came out. Low budget horror movie, slasher film. This is another one I enjoy. I can see how some people would not enjoy this, but I'm kind of a glutton for bad movies. And not to say that this is a terrible movie. It's probably middle of the road for most people. I'm thinking most people would probably give this 4.5 or 5 out of 10, where I would give it maybe like a 6.5 out of 10. I'm a little more generous, I think. But that is called Killer Party. Another horror comedy here, more on the comedy side actually, though. This is called Full Moon High, another high school. This is like 80% comedy, 20% horror, or if even that. It might be more comedy than that even. But it's another low budget. Adam Arkin, I think there's some really crazy, not crazy actors, but there's like a really kind of a weird cast in here. So you have Ed McMahon, who was the host of the Johnny Carson show, co-host. You also have Demond Wilson, who played Lamont in Sanford and Son. You have Jim J. Bullock, who was around a lot in the 80s. It's a Larry Cohen movie, so I think that's what kind of saved this movie. Larry Cohen has a really good style. But there were some other kind of mismatch cast in this movie. You'll see a lot of recognizable faces from the 70s and 80s. It's a fun time. I enjoy Full Moon High. The next one here this was one of their very first releases from Scream Factory years and years ago. This was never issued with a slipcover, and this is a sci-fi movie called Saturn III. This one has a Blu-ray and a DVD combo. This has Farrah Fawcett in it. You can see her there. And it has Kirk Douglas also in here as well. Harvey Keitel. And it was directed by Billy Williams, music by Elmer Bernstein. And this is a sci-fi movie from 1980. And like I said, this was one of Scream Factory's very, very earliest releases in their catalog. And I'm looking here on the back to see what year it was released by Scream Factory, and I'm not seeing it. But this was one of their first handful of movies that they ever released a long, long time ago. This is something that I knew I wanted to get at some point. I was never really in a hurry to grab this. I think I paid $10 for this, and it's in mint, perfect condition, Blu-ray DVD combo for $10. I'll take that all day long. Next one here is just some silly goodness. It's called Exorcism at 60,000 Feet. It's another horror comedy, 50-50, I think. It's maybe 60% comedy, 40% horror. It's a Blu-ray DVD combo. And this one came out in 2020. Or was that when it was released by... No, it says the movie came out in 2020. I think this came out maybe a couple years ago from Scream Factory. You can see, though, that you do get some bonus materials there. And I haven't watched this one yet, but I have done a little bit of reading about it. And from everything that I've seen, and I take movie reviews with a grain of salt because I like to form my own opinion, but I kind of like to know what I'm getting into. But there's been many cases where I'll watch somebody talk about a movie and I have a completely different outlook than they do, which is fine. I mean, everybody has their own opinions. But I like to form my own opinions, and I'm not easily swayed by others, I guess. So looking forward to checking this out. If anybody has seen this and you want to comment down below, just avoid any spoilers, please. The next one is kind of a grindsploitation, grindhouse type movie. This is called The Naked Cage, from the same director of Canned Heat, which was also another grindhouse style movie. And kind of girls in chains or girls in prison type movie, which again, I'm not the biggest fan of this little subgenre, but some of these are entertaining enough. So this movie came out in 1986 and it was released by Scream Factory in 2017. Sometimes these can be pretty fun. Or they make good background noise if you're cleaning the house doing something and you can just kind of put this on in the back and listen. Here's another cheapie, another horror comedy called Zombie High, starring Virginia Madsen, who is Michael Madsen's sister. And this is another kind of it's a love story, a zombie love story comedy type thing, type of a deal here. And the movie came out in 1987. And I still haven't watched this one yet either. I'm looking forward to checking it out at some point. So the next three are Steelbooks, and that will be the end of the Scream Factory pile. The first one, I picked this up at Walmart about a week or two ago. This is called Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I haven't watched this one yet. I haven't even really heard anything about this yet, but I'm not expecting much, just silly fun, and I'm looking forward to popping this in at some point. If anybody has seen it, again, if you want to talk about it, go ahead and leave a comment. The next one is the 4K release of the Return of the Living Dead Steelbook. And I watched this a couple weeks ago, and it looks really, really good on 4K. And this Steelbook looks amazing. I really like this. This movie holds up. It's old. It's a very old movie from the 80s, but it's still fun. I think this is probably still one of the top 5 zombie movies of all time. And I just wanted to show you another Steelbook that I already previously had in my collection. This was the European Steelbook from Second Sight. And this was the limited edition Steelbook, which also did look good on Blu-ray. But I just wanted to pull that out and show these side by side. And the last one for the Scream Factory stuff was a very odd choice, I think, for Arrow Video to release this, but I think this is a very fun movie, and I remember watching this. I've probably seen this movie over 100 times, going back to my childhood on HBO, and we used to record HBO movies onto VHS tapes, and then we would rewatch them over and over and over, me and my brother. And this was one where I can quote the entire dialogue for the whole movie. It was a fun movie. And this is the Arrow Video Steelbook of Weird Science. Kelly LeBrock was gorgeous, and Anthony Michael Hall was hilarious in the movie. Bill Paxton was Chet. He was this guy's brother in the movie, and he was kind of a bully to these kids, but he was a great character in the movie. And I only paid, I think it was $20 for the Steelbook, and it's still sealed. So I'm going to unseal it, though, and I'm going to watch it. And I do love this movie. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I have seen it many, many, many times. Great movie. So over the last, I would say, couple months, Walmart had a display in their movie section, and there was a lot of horror movies and kind of like box sets or collections that they had with this kind of special Halloween packaging. And I did partake, and I bought some movies that I wanted to upgrade, I guess. I already did have this movie on Blu-ray, but now I have the Steelbook. I thought this was a really nice looking Steelbook. It's called You're Next. This is actually a very trippy and a freaky horror movie. I really like this one. It's well done. And you can see that there's beautiful artwork there in the cover. Kind of a home invasion type movie. It says here on the back, "Oh my God, what is happening to us?" from one of the characters in the movie. And they have kind of like this orange. They kind of, well, you'll see. There's another one here, and they kind of alternated between orange and red. So Your Next was the orange color, and Sinister, which again this is another fun movie. I really like this. I thought it was very well done, and it still holds up. I watched this again a week or two ago, and I still do like this movie. I think this movie would have done a little bit better and would have had probably a more of a cult following if Ethan Hawke wasn't the main character in this movie. I just don't think that he really pulled it off. So he's an author, and he comes across VHS tapes in his attic, and he sees brutal murders happening. I'm not going to give you more than that. You'll have to watch it. I'm sure many of you have already seen it. But I feel like if there was a different lead for this movie, it would have got more praise. I think it would have more of a following. That's just my opinion. I could be completely off. Here on the back it says, "We have to leave here now, Ellison Oswalt." So I was glad to pick this one up, the Steelbook. Again, this is one I have on Blu-ray already, but I wanted the Steelbook. I consider a Steelbook an upgrade to a regular Blu-ray. That's just my opinion too. The next one, I think, to me, is one of the best horror movies ever made. This is an Australian kind of a stalker movie, and it's based on a true story. I don't know how true it is. I never really did any background check into this or any research or any of that. But the lead character, the main killer, Mick, terrorizing this couple in the Australian outback, and this movie was terrifying. It was absolutely horrifying, and it was very well done. And the thing about a movie like this, to me, that makes it so scary is things like this could really happen. And apparently it did, because this was based on a true story. But again, I don't know exactly how true it was. But it says here on the back, "Oh, I get around, never know where I might pop up." Mick Taylor, he was the killer in this movie. The guy who played Mick Taylor nailed it. I mean, he was a perfect psychopath. And he really sold it as the killer in this movie. If you haven't seen Wolf Creek, do check it out. There was a part 2 as well. Part 2 was a little more over the top. It was a little more brutal. And it was good too, but I think the original, his first one, was very, very well done. And another one that I got at Walmart. This was not part of their Halloween display, but this was sold at. This actually is a Walmart exclusive Steelbook, and this is George A. Romero's Diary of the Dead. Kind of a found footage style, and it's not the greatest movie, but it's still a fun George A. Romero movie. And this is an upgrade to me for this was the DVD Steelbook that I've had for many, many years. This is another British release, and you can see the difference there. The DVD Steelbook is about a good, I don't know, 1.5 inches taller than the Blu-ray. And this was limited and numbered. I don't remember what it was numbered or what it was limited to. I got 16,307, and that right there already tells me it's not limited, because if there's 16,000 of them, at least, that's not limited. That's a lot. So I was glad to finally upgrade this on Blu-ray, and I popped it in just to see what it looked like, and it looked great, but I do want to revisit. It's been a while since I've seen it. But those are the 2 Diary of the Dead Steelbooks I have. And moving right along, now we get into the DVDs that were part of the Halloween display at Walmart. And the first one is the Conjuring Universe. This was a 7-film collection with this orange glow-in-the-dark slipcover. These are the movies that you get. The Conjuring, Annabelle, The Conjuring 2, Annabelle Creation, The Nun, Annabelle Comes Home, and The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. I've only ever seen The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2. The rest of these I have not seen, but now I have them all in one little nifty package with a glow-in-the-dark slipcover, and this is what the DVD looks like. The movies come 2 to a disc, so you get Annabelle and Annabelle Creation, Conjuring and Conjuring 2. There's a swing tray. You get Annabelle and Conjuring 3, and The Nun has her own disc. And this is a nice, neat little box set. I want to say these were only like 15 bucks. So I'm glad to have that. The next one is the Critters 4-film collection. I happen to really enjoy the Critters. I think they're great. They're funny. I think they're adorable. And this is the 4 movies. So you get Critters, Critters 2, The Main Course, Critters 3, You Are What They Eat, and Critters 4, The Critters in Space. This one also comes on a swing tray. You get 2 movies per disc. And I was gonna switch out the case already, but there's a swing tray. I have to order another case. I absolutely hate these recyclable cases. They're terrible because there's really no protection to them, and you end up getting creases in your cover there. Not really crazy about that. But there they are side by side. Really glad to have that. The next one is the Purge 5-movie collection. I've only ever seen the first 3. I enjoy these movies. I think I thought it was a really good kind of a new idea. It was something that was kind of never really done before at the time. And there you can see what the regular case looks like. There's the slipcover with the glow-in-the-dark Statue of Liberty there in the front. So the 5 movies that you get are The Purge, which the original The Purge was very well done. Like I said, it was a brand new idea. Really enjoyed it. Then The Purge Anarchy and The Purge Election Year. Those are the 3 I've seen so far. I have not seen the first Purge, and I have never seen the Forever Purge. But now I have them all in one tidy, neat little set here, and I can pop them in whenever I feel like it. So these also come on a swing tray. I think these all have 1 movie per disc. So yeah, there's 5 discs total, which is a great idea. This is a really nice set there. The next one is the Final Destination 5-film collection. This was another really great franchise, great series. In my opinion, I really enjoyed these. At the time, it was another fresh idea. You can never cheat death, and death kept chasing these kids in these movies. I thought it was very well done. So you got the glow-in-the-dark slipcover. And on the back, these are the 5 movies that you get in the set. The original, Final Destination, and you get 2, 3, 4, and 5. All of them are rated R, and that's what the case looks like. And these are stacked, and I think there's 3 discs. I'm not going to pop them out. 2 of them have 2 movies, and the last one has a single movie on it for the 5. Not a fan of stacked discs, especially when they're DVDs. DVDs scratch very easy. You just got to be careful. I'm actually going to try to find a swing tray that's the size of a regular DVD case, so I can put the slipcover over that and have all the films in their own tray. And the last one from the Walmart Halloween display. This is Night Gallery, the complete series, hosted by the great Rod Serling, who created the original The Twilight Zone. He also created this show. Lasted for 3 seasons, and he was such a brilliant writer, and he always hired great writers to write with him. He wasn't the lone writer. He did write quite a few of the original Twilight Zone and some of these episodes here, but he was not the lone writer. He knew how to find talented people. And this is the complete series, all 3 seasons in this fat pack here. Comes in this fat slipcover. And this is a really excellent show. If you've never seen Night Gallery, if you're a fan of the original Twilight Zone, this is very similar to that. And all the discs come on their own swing trays, which is brilliant. It's a great idea. It's a really, really nice set. And I look forward to popping this in on a rainy weekend, a rainy Sunday, if there's no football on or not much else to do. You can pop this in and have a little fun. Pop some popcorn and just watch a bunch of these. So that is the end of the Walmart stuff. So I'm going to pause it here, get a drink of water, and we're going to continue. We got some more things to show here. Okay, so the next one here, this is a German import. This is a Mediabook for the movie Christmas Bloody Christmas, which was a Shudder original. And I really love holiday-themed horror movies, especially Christmas-themed horror movies. But and this is the 4K release. You get a 4K and a Blu-ray. We're going to go through the book. And there's some good things I'm going to say about this movie, and one big gripe I have with this movie is, before I talk about the gripe, I just want to say that I am not a prude. I don't get offended. It's very, very hard to offend me. I can't remember the last time I was offended. Certainly not by language, okay? I'm a fan of the 4-letter F word. I am. I think it's a great word. I think it can spice up a conversation, or it can spice up a sentence. But if it's overused, it waters the word down and it makes it ineffective or less effective. With that said, this movie literally uses the F word 3 or 4 times every single sentence, and it was too much for me. The movie was beautiful. It was really well shot. It's about, I'll just give you a quick little taste of what I saw, because I don't want to ruin it for you, but this Santa Claus is a animatronic. It's not a real person, but you can tell in the movie that it's a real man. It's a real actor in the suit, but it's supposed to be a maniacal animatronic Santa Claus that terrorizes a mall, and there's very gruesome, bloody kills, and it's Christmas Bloody Christmas. That's exactly what it is. It's directed by Joe Begos, who also did VFW, if you guys remember that movie from a couple years ago, which was a pleasant surprise to me. I didn't expect much going into it, and I was really entertained by it. This movie is very entertaining, but they used the F word way too many times, to the point where it made the word ineffective. It just didn't. They were using it in places that it didn't even really need to be used. She's the main actress in the movie. She's the main culprit she uses literally every other word as the F word out of her mouth. And like I said, I'm not offended easily. I'm certainly not by words. There's nothing you can say that would offend me. It just didn't really fit. And it was, if you see this, you'll keep that in mind. It's still in my player right now. I have the 4K in my player. She was a great actress. No, she wasn't a great actress. She was a good actress. But she played the role well. It just and she wasn't the only one. Every character in here said the F word every time they had a dialogue of line to speak. It was literally, even if the sentence was like 6 words long, 3 of them were the F word. And it bothered me. It didn't fit. And like I said, I use the F word quite a bit myself, but you have to pick and choose when you throw it in, and it's very effective if you use it properly. And I'm a fan of the F word. I just don't think it needs to be said so often. But with that said, too, this is still a fun movie, but it's distracting. And now that I told you about the F word, if you haven't seen this and you do decide to check it out, you'll notice it. But it's beautifully shot. It's very colorful. It looks great on 4K. It gives you the Christmas feel, and it definitely does have a good Christmas horror vibe to it. It could have been a classic for me if they just toned down the language. The language doesn't need to be the main focus of the movie, right? The characters and the kills should be the main focus of a movie, not the constant dialogue of F words. It's very distracting. So that's about all I have to say about that, and we're going to move on. These next two are Shudder releases also. These were DVDs that I picked up at a Walmart. Both of these DVDs came with a slipcover. I enjoyed both of these movies quite a bit. This one is called In a Violent Nature. I've never heard anybody talk about this, but then again, I'm not really on YouTube very often anymore. The YouTube that I watch has nothing to do with the movie community or movie reviews or anything like that. So if this has been talked about a million times, I haven't heard it. But this is a horror movie that focuses on the point of view of the killer. And you can tell that this was definitely an homage to the original Friday the 13th. And you're constantly following the killer. You're seeing everything from the killer's point of view, but it's third person. So you're not seeing it through his eyes. You're following him. You're always kind of behind him. You're watching him walk ahead of you, and you're kind of seeing what he's seeing and seeing what he does. Early in the movie, until he finds the mask, this is a mask that he finds, he looks exactly like Jason Voorhees. You never really get to see his face because you're always looking at him from the back, but he has like a flannel shirt. He has dirty jeans that are stained. He has old dusty boots, and he has a kind of a deformed bald head, and you're watching him from behind. And if you didn't know any better, you would think you were watching a Friday the 13th movie, which to me was great. And the ending, I don't want to give too much away. To me, the ending was a little bit lackluster. It felt like it could have been a little bit better in my opinion. But with that said, it's still a very good horror movie to watch. It's about a 6.5 out of 10 for me for In a Violent Nature. And the last one, as I mentioned earlier, it's a Shudder exclusive. This is called Baghead. By the way, both of these do have Blu-ray releases, but I picked these up at Walmart for $12 a piece. I didn't know if they were any good or not. I would say both of these are worthy of a Blu-ray buy. I doubt that I'll pick them up on Blu-ray now that I have them on DVD, but if I would have known how decent these were, I would have just picked them up on Blu-ray instead. But this one's called Baghead, and this is kind of the cover's a little misleading. You would almost think that it was a serial killer that wore a mask or wore like a burlap sack over his head. It's not that at all. It's more supernatural, and it's like a witch movie. It's again, I don't want to give too much of it away, but there is a possessed entity that lives in the basement of a very old pub. I can't remember if this took place in England or Ireland. I want to say it was Ireland. But there, how can I say this without giving too much of it away? You can enlist the help of this entity, and it will tell you things, but there's a price to pay. And I'm not going to say more than that. It's definitely worthy of a watch. It was very well done. The set pieces were excellent in this movie. It gives you a foreboding feeling. You feel helpless in points, and the atmosphere is everything in this movie. The old dusty basement where this entity is kept is very creepy. And I would recommend both of these movies to you if you haven't seen them before. Check out In a Violent Nature and check out Baghead. Okay, since this video is already very long, I'm going to end it here. I'm going to upload this, and then I'm going to immediately start recording part 2, and we're going to finish up this stuff. And then I'm going to show you guys in a third video my Halloween movies collection. So hope you enjoyed the video here. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave those below. Thumbs up are always appreciated, but they're not, I don't ask for anything. If you feel like it, do it. If not, don't. It is what it is. But all right, thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.